GMODISM. Well, hello and you're most welcome back. This is your host Eric and you're watching GMODISM. Sorry for the little delay. I'll explain in a moment. I have fixed the images. So on this little building platform, I have some alternative images instead, until we can fix the homepage basically. And if you missed that, my Imgur account is basically, I don't know, reported for, I don't know. I contacted support so many times to prove my case that I did nothing wrong, but they just don't care. So we're going to host our images ourselves instead on gmodism.com, and I'm in the process of setting that up. And when we do that, we can make sure that all the images in the AOG files and everything that we use and upload won't be deleted in the future when Imgur, I don't know. I think they kind of don't want to be used as a free external image hosting platform because I heard it happen to people from time to time. In any case, you might wondering what are these images from? Well, they're from Steam Workshop, it seems to work. From my guides and stuff. Yeah, but anyways, this thing is updated and well, from the depth Steam Workshop integration isn't very good at all. So you'll need to just download this again and resave it to get the updates, just so you know. And on that note, you can see here are the things that are done. I show you on screen here, a little folder of new decals and stuff that will be uploaded on the homepage that will be useful in game. And here you have the Army of GMODISM mascot by Matros Finlay. I made like a tiny version of the desk mat to use inside from depth for fun. And GMODISM Heavy Industries needed a logo, a proper logo. This is probably my favorite design, which I made. No AI here, so that's nice. And here you can see it's inscribed, Dulce et decorum est pro patria mori. Isn't that very cringe? It is. Also, observe the epic golden insignia. It looks more golden than ever before. Yeah, I guess I upgraded my paint.net skills. Also, I installed some plugins, so that's nice. About Matros Finlay's mascot for the AOG, this will be the name if you were wondering that and missed the posts. In this little video, we're going to do a lot of different things. We are going to build the build, or I'm going to show you the process of building the build for Lieutenant Crayv. And we are also going to check out what's happening, our new coloring board. We are going to measure the baguette with a ruler and oh yeah, I'm gonna enter in some war games, so I'll tell you more about that. Well, this video is kind of a weird mix format, so you will have to tell me if you like this or not. This video is a little bit dedicated, of course, to Lieutenant Crayv, who has been supporting the channel for a long time, and I have finally almost completed the build. We just need to add the decals and stuff like that, but basically otherwise, maybe some testing, but it's basically done. And it's a pretty cool thing because I started to learn some breadboard doing that. Basically, I set up some stuff with ACBs and Crayv just started to work with bread and then I just jumped in there. So thanks, Lieutenant, for forcing me to start learn a little bit of bread. And I learned something because a little bit later I made him a ruler calculator. Also, you may notice I thought the mullet was a little too long in the neck here, so I fixed that. Right, so I don't know exactly where I had the notes, but what Lieutenant Crayv, who is of course a commissioned officer in the Army of GMODISM, thus supporting us every month. And as a token of gratitude, after a few months we are initiating a little build, you know. And Crayv wanted a pack hydrofoil, yeah, a pack hydrofoil that's supposed to be able to go over submarines and shoot down on them, or otherwise go and attack ships. Yeah, it's a pretty advanced little build, and you know, it has to be small too, so we need to be really smart here with space and design, and we just have to accept that armor is not really gonna be a thing. This was my starting outline. This was the smallest I thought I could make it, while still having enough components to actually make it work. Scarily enough, in this stage, it's already costing about 1,000 materials, and we are just having alloy on it. We also have to think of costs. When we're making small builds, we can't make the cost run away to a crazy level. And yeah, making small light items usually means that we'll have to skimp a lot on the armor. So we are then adding this interesting little leg things here to make it look very fast. But naturally, having a shape like this needs us to make it look a little bit more sleek on the edges like this. Look like that. So here we have the basic shape of the hydrofoil that is going to be. We have a regular jet engine at this stage, and I wanted to mirror these. Now, someone just told me that, and I just forgot it again, but you know that kind of insect that looks like it has like 4 legs that sits on water? I kind of got a little bit inspired from that, making these legs and stuff. And they are gonna stand on the water, of course. It's gonna be a hydrofoil. And we're building in some local weapon controller to the side. To be able to aim the pack downwards and then forwards, we'll have to make it on a turret block that goes vertically like this, from side to side. Or not side to side, like up and down, so we can adjust it shooting downwards, forwards, upwards, dependent on what we need. I also found the basic shapes of the design, and I think it's very pleasing, or something. In iteration number 5, we are adding the pack system, as well as some internal components. We need batteries, we need some materials to carry, we need fuel, and we swapped that regular thruster, the regular jet engine, to a custom jet engine. And the thought is here to have a generator inside the jet engine. If you look like jet generator, we can use a jet generator to generate energy. And energy, naturally, we need to be able to power the pack. And the pack is a portal cannon, if you don't know that. For iteration number 6, some functionality has been added. We can see here that it now uses the ACBs to control its movement side to side. And we have started to set up some type of control system to make it work. Now, I don't quite exactly remember if this works at this stage. So I think we need to test that. All right. Maybe not. Oh yeah, it kind of works. We just had to spawn an enemy. So here is just like the earliest iteration. It goes pretty slow, 30 meters per second, but it is a hydrofoil, it is jet powered, and honestly, I would actually be pretty happy with this. I think it works pretty neatly, but fortunately, I decided to learn some new things and utilize that with the bread. Of course, it's not tuned. It's not like it's perfect. It's getting confused and stuff like that. But there are many more iterations to go. So yeah. Oh, cool. It actually killed the enemy pretty quickly. But just to take a little look what it contains right now. We have a particle cannon. It's gonna be a single output, gonna be short range because that deals more damage when we are getting a little bit closer there. And here we have a jaw and pitch control system using ACBs. And this is actually in the final design. We didn't manage to make it equally good with bread, so yeah. It looked pretty cool though. It works pretty well. This is the same thing the sheriff has, the sheriff deputy as well, and even the little officer aircraft, so that's fun. Yeah, functional, but needs a lot more work, but we're gonna check that later when we check out iteration number 7. But before that, we're gonna have a little bit of a story time. And while I talk about that, we're going to look at the untested new variant of the Sheriff, the stealthy version. Anyways, so you may have noticed there was a little bit lack of content lately. And the reason for this was that I had some problems with YouTube AdSense basically. And I thought that was able to solve it pretty quickly, so I tried to contact, everyone I could contact, my MCN, YouTube support, AdSense support, and that I spent a lot of time to try and fix. Unfortunately, we haven't found the solution yet, but now actual experts are working on why the connection might not work, because all accounts are in good standing and there shouldn't be any issues. So, and that has taken a lot of my, free time energy. So I haven't been having so much energy to record and time as well. It takes so long time to chat with support, email, back and forth, get the information to the MCN experts and stuff like that. And nobody seems to know exactly what's the issue. But now an expert at my MCN is talking to some good people on YouTube support. So hopefully it's gonna be solved very soon. Fortunately, however, I noticed before that YouTube memberships was gone too. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. That's so what the heck? Sometimes the camera is a little bit jank. Yeah, but the AdSense was gone and even YouTube members. So I was really worried there for some time. I actually thought that maybe I was actually getting thrown out of the YouTube partnership program and stuff like that, but that didn't happen. And the members and stuff like that, all that came back. It's no issues at all. We just need to try and solve the monetization. So, it actually runs. It actually works. That would be nice, but well, we'll see when that happens. It has taken, I don't know, 3 weeks now? Very long time. But you can imagine that for someone like me that is trying to work less and do content creation more, when basically most of your income from that side project is just getting removed and nobody knows why, it's a little bit stressful. So that is the reason why there has been a little bit low content lately, and I'm sorry about it, but well, now we're getting back, okay? Now we're getting back. Anyways, huge thanks to everyone who has supported the channel during this time and previous times, because of course the Patreon support and the YouTube memberships are working fine and awesome. So all of the YouTube members you can see with the nice badges in the comments field of this video. Huge thanks for you to sponsoring and supporting this channel. It helps a lot. And as we always do, special thanks to the Patreons, the commissioned officers in the army of GMODISM: Commodore Owen, Captain Shuro, Commander Morden, Lieutenants Anto, Crayv, Drew Candobetta, Flores Dragon, Parba Greed, Vincent Veritas, Rick Prell, and Scooby Rocks. And all our cadets, of course. Your continuous support really helps. It really does. Thank you. But you know what? We're gonna continue building on the build for Lieutenant Crayv, which, or not continue building, it's basically done. We're gonna continue to show the process. But before that, I think we're gonna measure a baguette. And I promise, it's nothing weird. It's really not. Games in Space wondered how long the baguette was in Marauders when I made them a ruler, and I half jokingly told Games in Space that if you comment on every video that I should measure the baguette, I will do it. Well, we got a few comments here. It's so funny. Measure the baguette. Anyways, huge thanks to Games in Space for all these comments, because obviously I didn't mean to stall it this long to measuring the baguette. It's just, the aforementioned issues, but all these comments is obviously great for what is it? engagement, it's called. YouTube statistics and stuff. So please comment random stuff. That helps. And if you want to help engagement with talking about random stuff in comment, well, our very knowledgeable and well, wise YouTuber, The Spiffing Brit, has compiled this list of good things to talk about in comments fields to increase engagement. Yay for algorithm hacks. Yeah, so have fun discussing that in the comments field. Meanwhile, I will look and find the Marauders, of course. And there it is. The Marauders is here. I'm changing the folder structure a little bit later, so the next upload of the officers files will basically need reinstall. Feels like I'm saying that every time, but not reinstall of the game, but you know, repasting of the files because I'm updating the structure. By the way, do you happen to be new to the Marauders? Well, then I have something for you. This is the Marauders. It's a Marauder measuring stick, and it even has a calculator so that you can know how many, you know, how long it is. Very handy. And it's numbers in easy, it's numbered in easy to read Roman numerals, because that you will definitely read as quick as normal numbers. We want to make it simple. Anything but metric, am I right? The Honored Baguette is obviously the build by that hitman, which we showed in a little battle versus the Gimli some time ago. If you want to check that out, you should absolutely. It's a good one. The Baguette is a very cool looking ship, and it has absolutely stunning interiors. Oh my god, it really looks quite amazing. These interiors, man. And just like repeating section after section, it's a piece of art, this thing. It's not very strong in combat though, so it did kind of die very much against the Gimli. No, spoiler alert, I should say, but watch the battle anyways, it's fun, because I even show a little trick on how to increase the effectiveness of the Baguette with just adding one simple setting, which you may have seen in the menu too, if you saw that a few seconds ago. We're just gonna put a little origin block here in the back, because to measure the Baguette, we obviously need to dock it here. Not vehicle spawner, thank you. The Honored Baguette. And did I not say that? I'm not sure. But the Honored Baguette is of course built by content creator That Hitman, so you should definitely check him out too. He makes some pretty cool experiments and stuff on YouTube. Oh my god, this is... Oh my lord. I think our safe approach distance angle was a little bit messed up. Somewhere along that line then. That should be absolutely fine. Did we gain speed? Apparently we are. Interesting. The moment of truth is here. The Baguette is being measured. Yeah, so... oh my god, this is so long. Let's check our Roman numeral skills. Well, it's about 10... It's about 9... It's about 9.5 Marauders. Yeah, it seems to be 9.5 Marauders, just a little bit over 9.5 Marauders. So, that is quite interesting. Well, I think we need to get the detailed statistics, obviously. And by the way, if you want to download this Marauder, it's on the Steam Workshop. Please leave it a nice rating. It's too fun. So, if we go into here, we have a... we're just gonna put over these numbers here. So 721 meters, 20 meters, I mean. So we're gonna put in 720. Yeah, 9.6 Marauders to be exact. So it's 9.6, a little bit longer. Well, we obviously need to check the all the units, and they are not based on Marauder length unit, they are based on Marauder units. So it's 23 meters wide, which means it is actually about as wide as the Marauder, 1.09 with Marauder units. So this thing, God, it lags a bit. What's the volume? 113,000, right? It's gonna write in that. 113,000, not being too exact. So we are about 20 volume Marauder units. What about the cost? 2.4 million, was it 2.45 or something? 2.45 or something. It costs approximately, you know, it costs 58.5 Marauders. Okay, maybe not that. 25, right? For 25. Is it 25, 20, something like that, right? Was it like this? Yeah, there we got it. So, the Honored Baguette is 57.7 Marauders in cost. Well, it's definitely it's a big boy. But it's kind of surprising that the width is it's as wide as the Marauder. That is kind of funny. Well, I hope you all are very happy. The Marauder has finally been measured, and was it to your satisfaction? Did you expect the results? Well, tell me in the comments if you are done discussing, what was it? Secret, silent luxury and AI generated business plan, whatever. All right, let's go back to Lieutenant Crayv and continue on this little build. So here you see this is iteration number 7. We have started to work on some cool little details on here. As you can see here, we have added a lot more PCBs. And what are these doing? Well, they are trying to set the particle type and well, charge time dependent on the what did we try and set it up as? This is no longer, by the way, we kind of replaced this little system here, so it's on the range of the target, right? Okay, so it prioritizes dependent on the range of the target. So we have Pierce, EMP, and Impact. And then we have a little thing here that switches behaviors dependent on what we have, what type of enemy we have, basically. Oh, we have explosive pack too, apparently. Well, anyways. We have some rudimentary detection for the time of being, and we encapsulated this this gun and added some decos, make it look cool. If you want to know what it is, it's set to pretty low explosive shock right now. We always use teal as the color for packs and plasma 2 in the army of GMODISM, if no other special reason is there. I also thought it could be a wise idea to have a little bit of rubber on the legs here so that it may not instantly die if it runs aground, more than, of course, these little wireless stuffs. Goes back and forth a little bit, but it's... Disattach, please. It's more functional than before. It's gonna have big trouble dealing with airplanes and the like, naturally. Wait, what? Oh, there it is. But of course, it can aim upwards like this. So you can see it actually has the potential to take out something like this too. But of course, it's a short range pack lens. It actually works pretty well. But a short-range pack lens obviously deals less damage when we are a bit further away. So that, if you check here in the particle cannon, you can see range 1 kilometer. We're down to basically 30% of damage, so it's not ideal. And you can see we started, or continued rather, to add some cool decorations. So a lot of mimics already placed, decos they're called, sorry. Also a fake little engine here to the side. Just to have that nice golden tubing, the AOG detail color. So yeah, I'm not quite sure why this is an iteration. Oh, I think it's because, I added some weights as well to the back. We started to add in some deco. Here we have the modified version. So this is actually the hydrofoil when we sent it to Crayv, who took a look at this, and our lieutenant then started to work on a breadboard. So this was my first, basically my first real try with breadboard. I haven't made this. This is the stuff that Lieutenant Crayv put in there to try and replace some of the ACBs. And we can see here we're trying to have overclocking here. And I removed the overclocking later because we simply don't have the ability to use overclocking on such a small design. We don't have that power. But it's a cool idea. We can control overclocking as well as overclocking number and particle cannon. What is it? Yeah. It kind of changes how much energy we generate with our jet engine. But the thing is, when we generate more energy, we also decrease thrust. So I actually removed that later too, because I couldn't get it to work in all these different thruster speeds in a reliable way. It's not a good way, because when we are as heavily as possible loading the pack, really want to reload fast, then we're going super slow, and that makes us a target and we're getting hit. Anyways, here we have a cool thing that switch attack modes dependent on altitude of the target. This is basically untouched, I believe. And the ACBs, we didn't manage to replace that yet. In a future video, we'll make some tutorials about it too, of course. And here we have a damage type switcher as well. Oh my god, they're bashing into each other. Also, this is a little generator engine, so it only makes battery power. That Crayv added here to basically offload the thruster a little bit too, so it works better. And I think that's about it for this version. And some temporary control panels have been placed on it to make it work, you know. And here we have the next iteration. This is iteration number 9. And you can see we started to add a lot more hydrofoils, really trying to make it work and balance and move smoothly. Worked a lot of deco, trying to fix the engine to really look nice and integrated into the design here. And basic stuff like that. And here we have iteration number 10, being constructed as we go here. We get a nice little cockpit area. We're getting this, the best type of detection, a rangefinder for bearing, which can be a good idea because we don't want to miss this. And I do believe we started to get into the breadboard here, which is hidden down here now. And so this is like my first breadboard play around with making this with particle cannons work. So what I basically done is I made a particle cannon that takes this data. Feel free to copy this if you want to. And it outputs the reload time dependent on how much we have charged. This basically means that this pack cannon will fire whenever it can fire. It will always fire whenever it can fire. So why don't we just have the pack reload time to like the lowest, like 3 seconds or what it is, 1 second? Well, the reason we don't do that is because we have a short range lens and it's not getting used when it's too far away from the enemies anyways. So Thus, it holds fire anyways. So we really want to make sure it loads and charges before firing as much as possible and not just shooting tiny blasts, because a longer charge time is actually better damage, just like with, oh my god, what am I doing? Just like with plasma, actually. Kind of. Anyways, here we have the overclock thing and stuff like that, and yeah, we're switching some damage types. I think there is not much more added here. We have basically 2 attack modes. We're gonna show them to you a little bit later, naturally. But I believe we should look at iteration number next 10 or 11, maybe. 11 it is, because it is the decos. So, we have a pretty nice little cockpit being added here. And you might wonder why this is green and what are all the other colors in the army of GMODISM. Well, I actually made a coloring board, so you can download a coloring board and develop your own even, so that you can easily select and make a custom board of colors. Very handy. Also some explanation and some tips and stuff like that. You know, I think we're gonna check that straight away, but you can see this thing looks pretty neat now. We still have some random control surfaces here, trying to make it work pretty neatly. And I realized that to the sides is the most important placement for rubber, because we might bash into sides, you know, kind of makes a lot of sense. Anyways, we are going to look at that little coloring board. This is downloadable on the workshop, so please get it and also give it a little rating. Here we have it, the Army of GMODISM's coloring board. This little thing hosts our fleet colors, as well as a bunch of other colors. So if you want to build and make your own coloring scheme, you can use this as a template and just save it again to make a new one. And you may wonder, why do we need that? We already have the fleet colors set up here. Like you can add yours, you can add another one, you can add Army of GMODISM, which I hope you have inside of there. But why do we need this? Well, thing is that colors from 1 to 27, they're actually custom per this build. It doesn't matter what faction this build is. Those colors will always be bound to this structure. And there is a lot of colors to set up, and if you, like me, have a specific set of colors that you want to use every time, there is no simple way to copy them over. So the only thing you can do is basically build a construct and use that as a starting point for each build. Now there is a cool little trick here, which you can do. So you can separate this, and when you do, camera, oh my god, thank you. You can take this thing, and when you build on it, you see you have the exact colors we set up. So you can just save this vehicle, override, and just save this as AOG colors, you know? And this will now basically have all the colors that we set up saved inside of here, except of course the fleet colors. The fleet colors are naturally faction specific, so that won't be possible to set up like that. But you can just make a little offshoot and save that. If you want to change and swap around with different coloring schemes and test around, well, if you found a really nice coloring scheme you're super happy with, you can just, you know, disattach one of these and save that, and you have it saved. So you can keep different versions of this too, so that's pretty nice. In any case, here you see the AOG colors, of course, the fleet colors, and for simplicity, oh, I added so many notes as well, we're gonna check that out. But for simplicity, they are actually inside of here, 13, 14, 15, and 16. So what you can do is you can go right-click on this, you can just copy these settings, and then you can just go to like your fleet color here, and then you can basically paste it in there, right? And that's an easy way to save the Army of GMODISM colors, and you can just go into Fleet Colors and basically, you know, save the one you have there. So that's a super simple way to get them if you want them as a switchable thing. In any case, we have some basic explanations there. I also found some camos that I like to use, and you know, basic explanations. And I made long, like, I don't know, I guess like lore roleplay texts about the story behind each of the colors, which you may think is completely insane, but I thought it was a little bit funny. For example, here we have a copper-based anti-fouling paint, very nice. And the question, why is the glass green? Well, it's GMODISM Industries chromium sapphire glass, obviously, which you have here. The story about great ballistic properties, while still cheap, just happens to be a little bit green due to the chromium. We have the lore full text back here, and we just got some fast stuff in front of it. Whoops. Anyways, that you can get on the workshops. You can see all these. I made a little nice ultralight concrete mask for stone because I don't like it how it looks. Tried to find something that looks really much like oxidized copper. Copied over the bronze, gold and silver settings from the gimless shields, which I thought was pretty cool. And I set up a little Kevlar mix canvas paint to paint wood so we can make rigid airships and stuff, you know. Also birch plank floor, isn't that quite nice? That's from the Filke, and our accent color and everything like that. So do check this one out if you want to see that. It's kind of a platform that kind of hovers itself. It has no AI, it just sits there and, you know, runs on RTGs or something. Anyways, let us retrofit this thing to the next iteration, whichever that might be. I think it's number 12. And we have some more decorations, some additions, some a little bit of heavy armor protection. We couldn't really add much because it just made it too heavy. So now we are really closing in on a design that looks pretty nice. We'll lock this thing so it doesn't move with the thruster here. And its last stage looks like this. We just hidden all these blocks that goes around like that. And here we basically have the finished build for Lieutenant Crayv, which I'm going to show you a little bit in combat, how it works, how it's set up, the breadboard and everything like that. Well, it needs to have some decals too when they're up on the homepage, but well, I really hope that Lieutenant Crayv is very happy with this little build. Maybe. Our lieutenant will say something in the comments, we shall see. But before that, on another note, I've decided to participate in the Great Library Wargame, and it's my first. I feel I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm so confused, and I hope I'm not a hassle to people who are, you know, expecting us to understand everything from the get-go, but I'm trying my best, and I wanted to try out and join a little wargame here. So the Great Library has started, and it's because I also wanted to participate in the Promethean Directive, which I'm going to talk about a little bit later because we're doing it together with another person. And well, I'm going to show you a little bit later that. But right now, I just threw myself into the Great Library because I wanted to try some Discord-based From the Depth wargames. Yeah, so it's quite advanced and I feel like I have no idea what I'm doing, but this is the public channel, by the way. So this is Army of GMODISM 5th chapter Intergalactic Industrial Expedition Force, because it has to be simple. And we have like a lot of cool stuff and, you know, events, announcements of different kinds. And yeah, we have a lot of spreadsheets too. I'm gonna show you them as well. But it likes happens a lot of stuff on the maps here, and you can kind of set your movement, do stuff, trade, start wars. If you like Risk or like tabletop role-playing games, maybe you should try these out. it was very new to me that this even existed. But yeah, it's going to be super fun to have this little experience and try to understand all this. Well, I just realized I can't really show you the spreadsheets that I filled out and stuff like that, because that would be, you know, problematic. It's a secret, but it's like, what is it, 5, 6, 5, a lot of tabs in a spreadsheet. Yeah, there is 9 tabs in total, and I'm trying to understand which I need to fill out more. But we built some cool and changed some cool designs previously or before to be able to jump into this. What I can show you, however, is of course the little document here, where we have the introduction, explains all about this. Like a lot of things and rules and stuff like this is being explained so that we know what to do. It's a lot of text though, so it of course takes some time getting into and really understand all the nooks and crannies of this, but it's gonna be fun to try. So here we have the 5th chapter, Intergalactic Expedition Force, which has some different vehicles. Like here we have the updated version of the Reed class that has been made into a carrier. We also have we have a lot of different stuff, and I took the fun liberty of actually incorporating 2 top players of a previous challenge we had here on a GMODISM channel, which was the Filke challenge. So here we have setups Filke, but I changed and upgraded it a lot. And here we got Ulyssas, which is actually not that changed, but it's really cool. So they are participating in there together with a lot of other vehicles. We made some upgrades to the balloonfish, for example. It's pretty fun. It's now a little bit more formidable. And yeah, we have a lot of different stuff. I even, Kovrak's Manta War for the AOG Bomber Challenge, I looked at that, saw if it was able to incorporate it and fix the things that had to be for it to comply, and put it in there too. So it's gonna be super fun. It's like more of you are participating in this little challenge than just me. That's how it feels, at least. Also, I upgraded this little helicopter too, so we have some new versions of a lot of vehicles. I think we can go into these and check them out a little bit more in detail later. If you want that, then just please tell me in the comments if you're done talking about what was it? AI fashion. And about our participation in the Promethean Directive. It's gonna be called Sword of the Ecclesiarch Force. That I can share, but more about that later. In any case, let's check out this most recent iteration of the build for Lieutenant Crayv. Now, it's not the aircraft thing, it only flies brief moments, but in any case, I think we can just test it out a little bit, show how it works. Gonna throw in a little Marauder here and get some action. So you can kind of see what's happening. It's closing in like that. It has surface and air smasher, yeah. And when it gets close enough, it will start to open fire. There it goes. Bam! Big damage. It goes from side to side. Pretty hard to hit this thing. And now it runs away to a safer distance, so it doesn't get hit by any cram or stuff like that. Pretty neat. I think it's pretty neat, at least. Anyways, what we definitely have to do is go in here and just check some values here, because in this breadboard, I'm pretty happy with this little breadboard that we set up together. Here we basically have my little thing that reloads as quick as it can. It always has the max recharge rate. It basically sets the recharge rate to the current charge. So that's how it works. And this thing is that's Crayv's edition, and here we are switching between either Pierce or Pack, dependent on how much battery we have. So the first smash will be Impact, Pack, and the after that, when we basically decrease too much energy, it will be Piercing, because that deals more effective damage. And not to get you all seasick, but if you check down here, you can see that the recharge time, 16, yeah, it's always fully recharged. I think this is pretty smart, at least. I'm gonna put this on some future turrets. But you can see the poor Marauder is getting a little bit picked into pieces here. Slowly but surely. And it's pretty good at evading too. And it costs, of course, not that much. 21,000 is a bit, yeah. Pack isn't the most effective damage type, but the reason why we have Pack on this system is obviously so that we can also target submarines. Now, I'm not well versed in submarines, especially not from Deepwater Guard, but well, let's see what's cooking. I suppose it will now, yeah, look at that. It found the target. So it will now do a flyover, yeah, and it shoots down with that Pack doing this little flyover. And of course, if a submarine gets damaged, it's underwater, so we only need to damage it to 20%, and then it will die. I don't know how good it will be at evading these missiles, because we don't have any countermeasures. Couldn't really fit that too. But I think it seems to be doing a pretty good job, so that's pretty fun. Going over for a little flyover. It's kind of fun. Well, slowly being picked to pieces, basically. Also, being a hydrofoil, it's not that easy to hit, so that's a good thing too. By the way, if you're interested in aircraft and ship and landcraft classification and stuff, you can get and help with that. I am working on documents that will eventually be Steam guides. So I get there is a link in the drive. I can put it in this video too, but basically you find it via, if you're in the army of GMODISM, basically just join that role and you'll, find it. Like trying to define the army of GMODISM as some type of overview like this. Or some more advanced stuff like our upcoming aircraft classification guide based on this little system here, known from the Americas and stuff like that. There is the naming convention is like much longer, as you can see here. But this is basically how we made a dictionary with some help there, so I could get some fact checking and stuff like that. But anyways, we basically updated the GMODIST community here, so it's super simple. When you check out the rules and stuff here, you can just go to channels and roles and you can easily select what roles you want. And inside of here, it's now super easy to just enlist in the army of GMODISM. But of course, don't click enlist if you're a commissioned officer. Then you get that role automatically, then you just click this one. Very handy. Right, so there we basically have that. I hope you got all that information, and I hope I didn't forget anything important. But please do tell me, what do you think about this format? This was a little bit new, mixing in everything together like this. Is it nice or is it not? Would be good to know. Anyways, huge thanks for watching, and again, extra thanks to our commissioned officers and the Ecclesiarch of GMODISM, the members of the YouTube as well, for supporting the channel. And hopefully the AdSense situation is solved very soon, but it seems I can't do very much personally against to make it faster right now. The experts have to look at it, so I'll just have to sit here and wait, unfortunately. But let's hope it we get the let's hope it gets fixed soon, yeah? Anyways, Huge thanks for watching. This is your host Eric of GMODISM. Join the Discord in the description and I'll be signing out.